It's very common that when you make something, you'll likely come back to it later on and try to make it better. A game especially suits this scenario because at one point you can feel content or even satisfied with the state of your game, and at another point, maybe not so much. Today I'll showcase how our game Escape Rush, a fast-paced racing game on Roblox, experienced this exact scenario, where we took this version of our game and brought it to this. You'll see. It led to one of the wildest development cycles we've ever gone through. But first, let's start this story from the beginning. So when you decide to update a game, there's several ways to approach it. You can fix bugs, add new features, adjust gameplay, make quality of life improvements, or even host an event. There's also the option of deleting your entire game and disappearing for all of eternity, or doing this. But we don't talk about either of those. You want to focus on those first few options. For Escape Rush, we did exactly that. After releasing our game on April 5th, 2026, we knew our game needed updates, which is why, following the initial release, we put out all of these. And each individual update included features, improvements, and fixes, all of which impacted the game in one way or another. And that's a good thing, because when you're early in development, you want to be impacting anything and everything you can. And as a result of that, we knew the quality of the game could be much better, which is why on April 18th, 2026, we announced Alpha. We knew the game needed an upgrade, and that's exactly what we gave it. Alpha development started on April 8th, 2026, initially taking a look at the lobby. We added notes all around the lobby to mark areas that we wanted to improve on and/or revise, which now reflecting on it, I don't know if this was exactly beneficial to do, but we did it. And as a result of that, the entire island quickly became covered with text. Seriously, it went from this to this. Crazy. It was clear that we wanted to change a whole lot, which is a good thing because when you're updating something, change is a necessary evil. It's something you have to go through to get to the result of whatever it is you're working towards. In our case, we quickly realized that the scale of change was going to be pretty high, considering again the entire lobby was covered with revisions. So after talking for a little bit, we decided to scrap the lobby and instead create a new one. It's April 10th, 2026, and we just started the new lobby. Initially, we thought about reusing assets from the previous lobby to make this lobby, and for the very beginning of this build, that's exactly what we did. It didn't have any textures, details, or really much of anything, but it was a start. However, we eventually realized this wasn't the direction we wanted the lobby to go in, and as a result of that, we drew a rough concept art for the lobby. By no means was this concept perfect, but it did help us refine our idea, and more importantly, create a plan. And with that, we decided to create new assets. A few rocks, some dirt, and just some general terrain pieces, all of which would be utilized when building the lobby. Let me show you. It's now April 18th, 2026, and we've generally figured out the layout and style of the lobby. It's not finished, there's still plenty of placeholders seen across the map, but with this understanding, we were able to add a lot more. There's a player spawn location, a place for leaderboards, a large building for our shop, a medium building, a small building, and to bring it all together, we created a series of paths. All of these things fit very nicely in the environment. However, each had a very specific function, and it's only because of those functions that any of these are being included in the lobby in the first place. That's not to say that you shouldn't include filler assets within your environments, but rather ensure that anything you're adding into your environments makes sense relative to its surroundings, as it's very easy to suffocate an environment. But if it's done well, then it adds to it, which is ultimately what you want. Building on top of this, we also finished our new loading screen as well as our in-game shop. The loading screen was entirely different. Previously, upon joining, players were greeted by a stagnant image. Now they're greeted by something much more interactive. As for the shop, this was a completely new system. It was made with an emphasis of simplicity. All things you could purchase in the game were found here. And the reason we designed it like this is the more complex something is, the more likely a player will be confused. You should always aim to design things in a way that emphasizes clarity and simplicity. The lobby still had plenty of unfinished things, and because of that, for the next 7 days we focus on finalizing it. now April 26, 2026, and now that the lobby's done, we're looking at expanding. For starters, walking in this new lobby was a little slow, so we made walking transition into sprinting after only a few seconds. This made it so players can now explore things and or reach things much faster, which in a lobby as large as this one will undoubtedly be helpful. The next thing we worked on was trails, which is visual effects seen trailing behind a player when they move. A total of 9 trails have just been added: Starveil, Verdant, Voltspark, Coinburst, Void, Smolder, Riptide, Flame, and Silverjet. All these new trails emitted effects around the player's torso. Previously, the visual effects for our trails didn't have this, but we decided to add it on these new ones because it looked really cool, especially when sprinting. And to close out this version, we made an initial blockout for our fantasy map, and we took an entirely different approach to creating it compared to our previous maps. You see, we're now dividing maps into 4 stages, and each stage will have a particular focus. For example, one section could have mushrooms, and another could have rocks and cliffs. This segmentation process created a sort of variation seen in the maps, which is incredibly important. Now let me show you the process of making it. When you choose to create something and commit to making it happen, it ultimately comes down to your desire and determination. If you truly want it, you'll find a way through any and all obstacles and keep moving